Hi, today we're going to be looking at Yellowstone State Park in southwestern Wisconsin. Now, I'm just taking a look at my map here. We are pretty much right between Dubuque and Madison, not far from Mineral Point and Dodgeville. And we get a little closer, I think Blanchardville. We're north of Argyle, so if you're looking for more detail. It is a state park built around the woods around a reservoir, or at least a dammed lake. And we'll take a quick look around it and show you what it's got available. So first thing we're going to do is take a quick drive through the main road that sort of runs right through the park, separate from the campgrounds. You can just drive through if you're not stopping and using any facilities without a state park sticker. If you do anything in here, stop and park, they do require a sticker. I am here at the beginning of June in 2020, and the park office is closed. But almost all the other services and facilities are now open. Tip this over this way because this is where the view is once we get past the blocked off park ranger station. But the whole reason for coming here is the lake. Alright, let's make this loop. Got a picnic shelter right off the front here, canoe launch, hiking trails, abundance of bat houses, which is good. Some of these trails are marked as hiking and snowmobile trails. So in the winter, you get out here, bring out your snowmobile. I'm not sure how deep the lake is and if that freezes up for that, or you're just riding on the trails. But I don't believe the campgrounds are open during the winter. I can't imagine them trying to keep that hill clear that goes up to the campgrounds. Oh, you can definitely tell the snowmobile trail across there. You can see the change on the road from the machines running across it. So the lake is just to my right. It's a little hard to see right now through the brush, but it's there. Right here, one of the first things you come to is a pet area on both sides. So I assume this means we have a pet beach and another pet exercise area. We'll check those out when I go for a walk later. Get more details on that. Right now I'm still waiting for the rain to completely clear. Oops. I'm not in this vehicle yet. Alright, so here's sort of a main intersection. Campgrounds are off to the left, and to the right is a very big parking area. Boat launch, beach, and we'll take a good look at that when I go for my walk. Let's go take a look at the campgrounds. Alright, let's take a look at the campgrounds. There are quite a few sites here, a lot of variety. There's tent sites, there's other sites you can park your camper van or truck camper or pop up if you don't need electric. There's full electric hookup sites. So let's take a quick look down here at 1 through 36. This is a small loop. This is mostly fairly flat sites. There's a little bit of a slope down here, and this heads towards the water, but we're still quite a ways away from the lake here. The campsites are nowhere really near the lake, and you can't quite just easily ride a bike down to the lake. Well, you can easily get to the lake, but you can't get back easy. So this whole stretch back here, the bathrooms are way in the back. There's a lot of tent walk-in sites, like here. So you park up front, walk into your tent sites. There's a lot of those. There's a couple of just simple pull-in spots. This particular one is actually mine for the weekend, and I couldn't pull in because there's a big slope down and it is muddy and soft. So I will be parking right up against the road here. Got more tent sites over there. I thought I'd show you my campsite here. Like I said before, when I was driving around, I got a spot that had very little parking up front. I got my picnic table, my fire pit back there. Not a level spot on this one to put a tent. Parked up top, and as you can see, it's way up the hill there. And I'm kind of parked on the ridge, and I had to shim the tires, try to level it off. As I tried earlier, and my head was sloping down, and that's never good. But right next to us, let's take a look around over here. We got those tent walk-in sites. And the only one down at this end of the world, way on the far side of that circle, there is one RV, but other than that, it's just me down here. So there are 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we got 6 sites hiding back here somewhere. I know it's getting a little dark. Interesting, I don't know which side is which. Oh, that one is 14. Okay. There's 20 over there. All these tent sites. Oh. I'm going to stop and say hello to the buck hiding back here. Hi, buddy. Wasn't expecting to see him, and he wasn't expecting to see me. Well, you might have a deer come visit you if you're out here on 19 or one of these others. Not that I'm chasing him, he's gone by now. But if you want to have some isolation, there are some great tent sites out here. The picnic table is hiding back in there. But you're going to do some hauling to get your stuff in. This one's 18. It's about as far back as it gets. Dual sites here, so these are the kind that you have to have you're sharing with another family. There's another pair here. So down here there's no electric. Once we get back up to the center section, I think all these sites had electric. More tent walk-in sites on your right there. Yeah, the one straight ahead has electric, and anything up from here in this stretch, I believe, has full electric. water fountain with this spot. So there is access to water at least somewhere out here, but no bathrooms out here. Oh, there is another bathroom. Sorry, I misspoke. Sorry about the wipers. We're just coming up on the end of the rain, so I figured I'd get this in before the weather clears and I can look at the rest of the facilities. So here's sort of the split for the campgrounds again. There's more restrooms here. To the right is the group campgrounds, as well as the way station and a amphitheater. There are trails that head off throughout the campgrounds here. And then, so we go down the middle here, and then it creates loops that go off to the right and left, and there's even sub loops off of those. Now this whole campground, I can see why they have signs, no rollerblades. I'm guessing that they had to establish that because there are some big hills, and there's probably people running down the hills and getting out of control. But I could be wrong. That's just my guess. There are some sites up here that have paved platforms. Others are gravel, some are grass. Now, I could jump off there, but I'm going to go straight ahead here because up ahead here we have the shower facility. So we got the nice bathroom up here with showers. So there's a full bathroom on either side, one for men, one for women, and then off on the end of the building is a row of showers. And the showers are not gender specific. You just go in, lock your door. Let's take a look around. Okay, to the left, 54 through 80. So we got a full camper parked, slipped into this one. Some dual shared campsite there. So some of these sites, like this one, let's see if we can see that. So up here is just the parking. The actual camping is down below. They have a trail that you have to go down to actually get to the campsite. This one's fairly simple. Just a little bit of an upslope. Very similar to the one next to it. And this one again on this side is very similar. Where you park up top and camp down below. But they definitely give you some privacy. You are out there fairly isolated, so you got a spot. You can have a tent here, so you can definitely have the family split up if you want. You could actually fit a couple tents here. If you want to be separate from the kids, they can have their own area. Now, I don't know if you can hear that. Sounds like pounding in the distance. I found out that there is a Wisconsin DNR shooting range that is part of this park or adjacent to it. And it is open till 9 o'clock at night. So you may hear shooting out here. I assume it's safely away from the campgrounds, but it's definitely not outside of earshot. But if that's something you enjoy, that might be something to take advantage of. Alright, so we're going to change our loop direction here now. Go off to the right this time, before the showers. Let's see what we got over here. These sites do look like some of them still have electric hookups, so they are meant for campers. Some are not. So there's a blend here, which actually could be an advantage too if you want to have a camper on one side and tenting on the other. If you have people who are together who have different needs, you can set up across from each other. Ooh, this is kind of fun. I got a whole intersection. I got many options now. Alright, so we're going to go the long way. think. 199 to 119. Go out that way. 99 to 119. These look like tents and tents on the left, RVs on the right. Terraced. There's a pretty heavy terrain here, but not so much that you can't get your RV around. They're all back-end sites. I don't see any pull-throughs. So you're expected to back into your site. We're back into just tents here. Going back uphill. But most of these sites are very isolated from their neighbors. You're not on top of each other. You got good woods between you and anybody else. So if you want to come with somebody else, look for those double sites. If you want to be spending your time together. But if you want your privacy, there's plenty of that in this campground. Back up to the top. There are quite a few good maps posted around, so you can find your way around, find your trails. It is recommended you try to print those out or put them on your phone before you come. Cell service out here is a little spotty. The trail to my left. Picnic areas along the water here. Another boat launch, fishing and picnicking areas. There. And then we go up the hill to get the view. Here's the van working. Again, not a hill I'd want to be doing in the winter. Alright, I'm going to get out and show you what kind of view we have up here. Alright, here we are up at the top of the hill. And let's spin you around. Sorry about the wind noise. So I'm up on the ridge, high point here, trying to take a relaxing video with some sounds of nature. Yeah, the wind's a little annoying, but I've also got the constant pounding from the gun range. I'm down at the boat ramp. Now, strangely, You know, considering the other boat ramps I was anywhere near the past weekend, there is not a soul to be seen down here. This boat ramp. I am the only one and the parking lot is empty. Kids don't float. Give them something that does. And there's life jackets in the box. Just borrow a life jacket, bring it back, hang it up to dry if need be. Make sure your kids are safe. Here's the map of the park and the lake. Came in over here, down along the edge of the lake. There's the pet area. Right off that is into the boat ramp. I'm across there, across the street from it right now. Up the hill is into the campground, so there's a huge elevation change between here and here, up and down. The high ridge with a view is right about here, and just a little further down there's a dam. Well, the dam, there's a berm there in the actual dam down there, so that's what's creating the lake. We'll get out on some of those trails tomorrow, and I'm definitely gonna bug up because my head's getting attacked by bugs right now. So just off the boat ramp is a secondary parking area over here. This is specifically for the beach. Up here where I'm standing right now is a 15-minute loading, a 5-minute loading zone. And we have some changing rooms up here on the hillside. And over there is the beach. So along the beach area, they have a whole series of tables up the hill from the path, so you can set up your area to hang out for the day. And then down below, overlooking the beach here, and it does have a marked buoy area, marked the swim area. No lifeguard on duty here, but it looks like it's going to be fairly shallow and walkout, so it's not like you're falling off a pier. There's another row here. It looks like a great place for just sunning, as well as more tables. So you can set up on grass if you'd like to be near instead of sand. Sitting at the beach in the wind reminds me that I never let my kids use an inflatable device at the beach, because I had a bad experience as a kid. I distinctly remember having a nice little inflatable mattress, or one of the individual ones, and laying on it, and then it started to float, hopping off, and it started to float away, and I started to swim after it. Well, if I caught it, it would save me. It would keep me afloat. But if I didn't catch it, because the wind kept taking it just out of reach every stroke I took, it just made me more and more and more tired. And you just can't let it go, but you really need to let it go and go back to shore. So it's safer on a really windy day, or even with a slight breeze, not to bring those inflatable toys to the beach. It includes beach balls that in playing in the water is fine on the shore, but out on the beach not so good. And I saw several people out there exerting themselves trying to blow up their big monster swans, and I'm just thinking that's just the kind of thing that's a recipe for disaster, especially at a beach like this where there is no lifeguard. So be safe out there. Alright, so I just walked down the path. Down there is the boat launch and the picnic area, and along the way we make a transition to what is now the pet area. Over here is a little itty-bitty little put in for your dog, and this is the pet picnic area over here, with a little beach there, more pet picnicking area or dog friendly area up there, and half of this path and the picnic areas are dog friendly. So you approach one side with your dog, with your pets, and the other side if you're just looking to hang out at the beach. Good morning. I am out wandering the trails this morning. Let's take a quick look around. I've been out for about a half an hour now. Left the campsite. Tried to get out at sunrise. I did wind up with a nothing sky today, so wasn't able to get too many great pictures. Because in landscape you need a little something in the sky. But let's take a look where we are. So I took off from the campground over here on the Windy Ridge Trail. Came out around this edge. I got out here, and I'm now going to take the Savannah Loop around and back and continue on the Windy Ridge Trail to get back to my vehicle. But there's also this Blue Ridge Trail that really wanders the edges of the park, and I'm crossing it right now. And it is also a snowmobile trail, so I bet this would be really fun in the winter for that. The Savannah Ridge and the Windy Ridge are not snowmobile, but this blue line is, so that looks like it'd be a great run. Now, up until very recently, this was all, when I was in the Windy Ridge Trail, it was all wooded. And it was, you know, with a deep ravine trench going off to my side. This is very different out here in the prairie next to the farm fields. Well, the sign said steep hill. Didn't say see steep hill ahead. So when I saw the sign, it was a little low, a little dip. But right now, if I level off, I'm level right now. Looking into that trail behind me that goes up there. If I'm level off over here, where's the trail? Trail's down there somewhere. This is a steep climb. And first thing in the morning, it's kind of wet and squishy and a little slippery. I think my socks are completely soaked now. Wasn't expecting to be quite so wet. But what do you expect in the morning after a rainstorm? So I'm back on the Windy Ridge Trail. Like I said before, this trail is very much a wooded trail. All around me, nothing but dense woods. And you know, realizing as I'm going down these trails, there was a oak trail of some form, Oak Grove Trail or something like that, where it noted that it was a very difficult cross-country ski trail. So that made me realize that when I had seen the sign before telling me, hey, there's a steep hill ahead, it wasn't for me. Not for the hiker, it's for the cross-country skier, because you would suddenly be going way down the hill. So if you're into cross-country skiing and you like something challenging, this place has some challenging trails for you. Really? Shortcut? You came all the way here to take a shortcut? But looking at the trail maps, this trail will take you in a shortcut down towards the boat ramp and the beach. So yeah, it makes sense if you want to get off the road and want to get down there. It is useful. So I'm following the timber trail that runs parallel to the road between the boat ramp and the campground. Again, it's a day after it was raining, and it feels more like a slip and slide trail to me. This thing has been nothing but mud, and it's hard to enjoy a walk when you're spending all your time trying not to slip and slide down the hill. Otherwise, it would be a beautiful walk. Got a ravine running next to me here, some fallen trees in it. But it is a steep one, not too steep, but it definitely has some grade, and if you're not careful, it'll go sliding. Okay, I'm down here at the junction of the main drive, the road up to the campgrounds and the boat ramp and the beach. And there's Oak Grove Trail will take me back up to the campground. Well, I finally found the sign for it, and apparently this really is the entrance. Okay, it's gonna get a little Blair Witch here, so let's wander in. Well, I can't say I'd really call this a trail. This is where I came up. There's something over there that might be a trail, but this kind of goes up the hill. So I'm going to try going that way. I don't think the signage is very good. We'll see what happens. Well, a minute or two later, and I definitely was not on the trail, because I popped out at the tent sites that are right by my campsite. And the trail is supposed to be way over there somewhere, and then all the way up and around and in. So totally missed the trail. I'll have to check it out on the road, see if there's another signpost to get to that trail. But I gotta check out of my campsite now. All right, walk back up the road, because you gotta walk along the road to get to this trailhead, because it specifically says no parking anywhere near here. Yeah, that looks like a trail to me. Where is it? There it is. Let's go see what's up there. So this is the shortcut trail. It's a pretty little trail along a ravine. Takes you back up towards the campground and connecting to some other trails. So that was Yellowstone Lake State Park. I wanted to do a wrap up in the park somewhere, but it was just too windy to talk to you. So, my impressions of the park is a beautiful place. The campground is laid out beautifully. If you like the wooded campsites, it is ideal for that. The lake is gorgeous. Nice swimming area. Some beautiful trails. It looks like they are very well maintained through the winter from what I could tell, but I wasn't there during the winter. But I did notice a few of those trails seem to be lacking in the summer months, at least at the beginning of the summer. They don't seem like they're maintained. And a big drawback was that shooting range to me, because it was constant bang bang up until 9 o'clock, and pretty much starting at like 6 o'clock in the morning or earlier, they were shooting again. So there is some quiet time during sleep, but all during the daylight hours you're going to hear it. But otherwise, it's a beautiful park. It's somewhat remote, and like I said, those campground spots are very nice. Just know that a lot of them you will have to pack in and out and carry your stuff. But there are some other ones, if you're willing to pay for the electric extra, that are very simple to work with. So get on out there, enjoy the state parks, and hope to see, well, we'll see where the next park takes me.